Welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. And Coach, mixed bag this past week. The Tigers played a home game against Cornell, a very good Cornell team that's going to fight for the Ivy League title. And it was a battle, and then you pulled away late in the ball game. You had to be very pleased with your team's performance that night.
Yeah, they're a hard team to stop. We tried to really change our entire game plan to take away their excellent three-point shooting. We did that, but we couldn't stop around the rim. But we ran good offense. We had a lot of good performances from a lot of guys. We had a great crowd here. I think Steve and his staff have done a great job getting the students out, and that certainly was a factor in being able to get some separation in the second half.
Then the team went to Florida for the second time in 10 days, taking on Central Florida, your second Big 12 opponent of the season. And this one did not go as well as Cornell. Dylan Williamson hits a three to tie it up at 5-5, but from that point on, Central Florida went on a run you were never able to recover.
Yeah, Central Florida played really well, and we played really poorly.
And they're a good team. They're not a...
Yeah, no. I mean, they're 8-1 for a reason, but, we just didn't guard them. We weren't great on offense, but we didn't have anything typical of our teams as far as physically impacting the game like we've had normally against teams at that level. So, that was a step backwards. Poor coaching, poor playing, and Central Florida played incredibly well and made us pay.
What was it? Was it anything that they were doing defensively? Because you went through some streaks where the offense just could not get any points.
Yeah, I didn't think our pace was great. I thought it was too much dribbling. We weren't getting off the ball early. We like to say we want to try to keep the music playing on offense. It was like a record when it hits the end there and it keeps scratching. But we were really bad defensively. We just didn't guard the ball. We didn't take away strong hand drives. We didn't get in the gaps. And that's how you get beat badly when you don't do any of those things. I think to me what was disappointing is we weren't great on offense. And Central Florida had something to do with that, with their toughness and physicality. But we didn't have any of the characteristics we had against like a Houston or a St. John's, where maybe we weren't great on offense, but we just kind of physically sent a message to those teams. We totally lacked that on Sunday afternoon for whatever reason.
How do you work on that?
Well, we got 11 days of practice and 3 games before the ball goes up at William & Mary. So we've earned the right to have a little bit longer practices than we normally would have this time of year. And, as a staff, right, you come back from that thing and you were hoping to be fresh and figure out a way to get a win. But coming back, what I know is if we play like that, we can't reach our goals. Now, you're always worried about fatigue and, this, but that's out the window. Because we earn the right, based on how we play, that we can't do that and have any type of success. So we've got to get back to, like I said, a little bit longer kind of grinding practices where hopefully we can kind of reestablish some things that usually make Towson basketball competitive.
Well, no games this week, so you do have a lot of time to practice. But then next week, Tuesday night, you travel to Lawrence, Kansas to take on the Jayhawks, who I believe was the first team you ever faced as the head coach of the Tigers.
That's right. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, if you have never been to Kansas, it's an unbelievable experience. There's no place like it in college basketball. Obviously, they've got the #1 pick in the draft back, the kid Peterson, a Hall of Fame coach, great players. So, it's a terrific opportunity for us to see if we're ready to kind of, reestablish some things that are important for us. Can we compete on the backboards? Can we have unbelievable effort, intensity defensively, and then see what happens down there on the floor? So, that's really where I'm looking to see. I think what's been revealed to me is that a couple maybe guys that haven't gotten opportunities, last couple games have gotten a little better, and maybe they need more opportunities. Then a couple guys that have been playing a lot maybe need less, based on what I saw on Sunday.
You mentioned a couple of those, Morsek and Jaden Cole both played well when they came into the Central Florida game.
Yeah, they did a good job. Jaden in particular last week has earned the right to to get to play a little bit more, and same thing with Sek. And although his rebounds per minute have been pretty good all throughout, we really need to keep Caleb on the floor. Caleb, a lot of people don't know, is 8th in the country in his offensive rebounding rate, which is unbelievable out of 4,700 players. But we got to eliminate some silly fouls so that he can stay on the floor. But then some other guys, like I said, are guys that have the ball in their hands a lot, have to be way better, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
All right, well, the Tigers will be taking on Kansas 9 o'clock Tuesday night on ESPN2. So, I mean, this is a nationally televised game. This is not, on the Ocho or anything.
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity against, a Final Four level team. So, hopefully we could start to make some progress, like I said, and you certainly the competition is worthy for sure.
All right, 45 years ago this week, the great philosopher John Lennon was murdered. Just remember what he said.
The guy from the Beatles?
Yeah.
Okay. Thought he was a musician.
Well, he was a philosopher too.
Okay.
Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Think about it.
I don't understand it.
We'll be back next week with another edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report.